Minister Narendra Modi today met his host, Russian President Vladimir Putin, in Kazan. The two leaders met with a warm hug and held bilateral talks on the sidelines of the BRICS summit. Prime Minister Modi conveyed to Putin yet again that India believes in peaceful solutions to conflicts, referring to the Russia-Ukraine war. Prime Minister Modi said, "We have been in touch with all sides in the Russia-Ukraine problem. It has always been our position that all conflicts can be resolved through dialogue. We believe there should be peaceful solutions to conflicts. India is always ready to help bring peace." President Putin told Prime Minister Modi, Russia-India ties have the character of a particularly privileged strategic partnership and continue to actively develop. Now, the BRICS summit visit is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's second visit to Russia this year. He visited Moscow in July to attend the 22nd India-Russia annual summit. India is also a big customer of Russian oil, much to the chagrin of the West. The US and its Western allies have been supporting Ukraine and working to hurt Russia in trade. India has said it will buy oil from anywhere that it gets a good deal, which will benefit the citizens of India. Significantly, Russia has touted the BRICS summit as a diplomatic triumph that shows that Western attempts to isolate Moscow over the Ukraine conflict have failed. The US has dismissed the idea that BRICS could become a geopolitical rival, but has expressed concern over Moscow flexing its diplomatic muscle as the Ukraine conflict rages. Moscow-based political analyst Konstantin Kalachev says Moscow has steadily advanced on the battlefield in eastern Ukraine this year, while strengthening ties with China, Iran and North Korea, three of Washington's adversaries. By gathering BRICS leaders in Kazan, the Kremlin aims to show that not only is Russia not isolated, it has partners and allies. Kalachev adds, this time the Kremlin wants to show an alternative to Western pressure and that the multipolar world is a reality, referring to Moscow's efforts to shift power away from Western nations. Nearly 3 years after Russia's invasion of Ukraine saw Moscow condemned by countries globally, Vladimir Putin is staging a summit with more than a dozen world leaders in a pointed signal that far from being alone, an emerging coalition of countries stands behind him. The 3-day BRICS summit in Kazan is the first meeting of the group of major emerging economies, Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, since it expanded earlier this year to include Egypt, the UAE, Ethiopia and Iran. Leaders who are in attendance include Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, China's Xi Jinping, Iran's Masoud Pezeshkian, South Africa's Cyril Ramaphosa and Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. It is by far the largest international gathering the Russian president has hosted since the beginning of the Ukraine war in February 2022. The gathering of BRICS and other countries this week spotlights the growing convergence of nations who hope to see a shift in the global balance of power and, in the case of some like Moscow, Beijing and Tehran, directly counter the United States-led West. It is this message that Putin and his close partner and most powerful BRICS country leader Xi Jinping are perhaps hoping to project, that it is the West that stands isolated in the world with its sanctions and alliances, while a global majority of countries support their bid to challenge American global leadership.